Hey, what's up, everybody? Greg Armstrong, the host of the Gospel and Race podcast. I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube page. I want you to find your favorite podcast platform because all of our episodes are there. Be a part of this community. Join us, spread the word. Let's continue with the conversations that are critical to race and the church. Gospel and Race podcast. All right, Gospel and Race podcast. Welcome, y'all. I'm so hyped to see everybody or be in this space where you all know, those who follow our podcast, we are committed to joining the intersection, like leaning into the intersection of the church and race. We cannot run away from the cultural conversations of race, of equality, of all those categories that sometimes the church tries to shove out. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to marry those conversations because we understand that the gospel addresses much of what we have antagonism over in our culture. But nevertheless, I'm just glad to be in the building because my boy is here, y'all. Listen, this is my guy. This is my brother. I'm not going to do a formal bio because he's not that type of dude. He's not going to even want that. But I'm going to tell you, man, I met this brother some years ago, a worship pastor, a justice advocate, a songwriter, a singer, a musician, the whole nine yards. And you all know, some of y'all may or may not know, my previous world before pastoring and all this stuff that we're doing now was music and worship and the whole nine yards. Served as a worship pastor for over 20 years at various churches. And so I like to really stay in tune with what's happening in the field of worship. Now, what's interesting is there's so much intersection between modern worship, music, race, politics. There's a lot going on. So I said, man, my brother, Carlos de la Cruz, said, man, you got to come on the podcast so we can talk. Y'all welcome. Carlos.
What up, what up?
De la Cruz.
Buenos dias.
Come on,
buenas
man.
noches,
Buenos
whenever
dias.
you're watching it.
Man, listen, bro, like, look, you are well in your right to bust out in Spanish at any time you want.
Okay.
And you know what I mean? And I don't have to, I was with my boy the other day at lunch, my boy Manfred, and he is from Costa Rica.
Yeah.
And all the servers at my favorite restaurant down the street, you know, they're all Mexican sisters. Yeah. And they just start going in with each other. They just left me out.
Yeah, say less, sir.
Is that like,
bro,
as soon as they found out,
listen,
I'm out the country, they just going at it.
Bro, especially like if you are here in the burbs, whenever you find somebody that speaks Spanish, it's like immediately you're translated to your motherland and you start speaking in your mother tongue. So I start speaking Spanish. As soon as I know you speak Spanish, man, I'm rocking with you and we just go in. And I go into Spanish mode.
Now, is that for the purpose, is that to keep the language fresh in you?
No, I don't. For me, I don't even know why it happens. It just does. And it's like, oh, mi gente, que lo que? What's that? You know, like I start talking in Spanish because I'm just so, so much joy to see somebody else, to hear somebody else that speaks Spanish. And I just start going in Spanish.
Man,
takes me back home.
I'm not bilingual by any stretch of the imagination, but there must be, when I'm watching them converse, there's almost like a different sort of piece that came. You know, that's got to be, when you talk about this world, and we talk a lot about this world on Gospel and Race, this world, sort of this white normative world, especially here in the suburbs, that's got to be a feeling of almost liberation to kind of encounter somebody that's got a native tongue that's not primary to this culture.
Sir. Yes, sir.
And just because they forgot about me.
It definitely is. It feels like, man, in this world, when we are surrounded by chaos and the climate that we are in, when you find somebody that speaks your language and that looks like you immediately think of home and you have a sense of belonging. And that's why you automatically, for me, I switch and I feel at home. I feel at peace. I feel like, man, I still have my freedom.
Yeah.
So,
Now, home for you is?
It's Dominican Republic. Peep the hat, bro. We in the World
bro.
Baseball Classic going on right now. So not to plug in that World Baseball Classic,
that's
but
dope.
we went 4-0. in the first round, and we playing tonight, so that's what we.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Dominican Republic,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Do you miss home?
Wondering.
You miss home enough?
I do, man. It's been a long time since I've been back. My parents, they don't live on the island anymore.
Yeah.
And because of that, then I find myself going there less.
Yeah.
But I do miss it. The people, the culture, I miss being there. I don't miss the weather. I'll say that.
It's hot, bro.
It is so hot, bro. And I know it's countercultural, but like I got used to the cold. People want to get out of Chicago because of the cold and the snow.
No,
man, I kind of like it, bro.
No,
I kind of like it.
I'll take it all day, bro. Not
All
that heat.
day.
I mean, we were in the Dominican Republic, and I don't ever like to reference this with folks who are native to these countries because these are tourist attractions and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, we were in the Dominican Republic last year, and it was just like, why is it so hot?
Bro,
like, why is it like this? You know what I'm saying?
As soon as you jump off the plane, you feel like your skin is melting. It ain't good. No.
You're being here in the States, and that was you 18 when you came.
Yes,
here.
sir. Yes, sir.
Being here in the States, do you like what do you have to do to preserve the richness of your core identity from the Dominican Republic? Because I'm saying that because I know you.
Yeah.
You have not assimilated in that regard.
Yeah.
To sort of like the norm of culture here. And you've stayed true to who you are. You blah blah. So what do you got to do?
See, that's an interesting journey, and this might not be what you asked, but I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there because like you referenced, I came here at the age of 18 years old.
Yeah.
And I came to Columbus, Ohio, and it's a big town, but it was a very small community, majority white community, and there are no Dominicans around.
No.
I was surrounded by white people.
Yeah.
And for a while, I felt like I couldn't be myself. I couldn't bring that Dominicanness, because in the DR, if you know anything about the DR, we are loud, we are joyful. There's music playing all the time. Every time we talk, people think we're fighting, but we're not fighting. We're just talking. So it was such a culture shock for me because I came into a culture that was not like that, and I felt like I couldn't be that. Because people will look at me weird and look at me different. Yeah. So it took a while for me, and maybe we'll talk about this later, but it took a while for me to come to terms no, this is who God made me to be. Yeah, this is who I am. This is my culture. And I have to continue to represent that. I don't want to be a version of somebody else that I'm not just to please other people.
I mean that's strong because I think in our culture, even as a black man, you always checking that somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you kind of always, even growing up in America, there's always you kind of side eye how people view what's very natural to you. Because, we loud too.
Yes, sir.
When we laugh, we knocking over stands.
My God. Rolling on the floor.
We on the floor, man.
Got you.
We were last night. We were watching last night with my brother-in-law, with Joe Flo, my wife, my niece. We were watching the Next Top Chef.
Okay.
And listen, man, we stopped for a minute because the commentary that was coming from our seats was so out of control.
Yeah.
It was so wild. It was so hilarious. It was so funny. Yeah. Like, girl, you better sop that in that butter. If she cooked that steak in that bone marrow butter.
Yeah.
Like, man,
come on.
And we just laugh. We cracking up. Man, why you do that? You crazy. We going crazy. And I'm thinking man, I sat there for a moment thinking I love black culture.
Yes.
Because this is what we do.
Yeah.
But man, you go out in the public square.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And non-persons of color don't often realize that we kind of have to keep tabs on where am I at?
Yeah. You have to be aware of the spaces that you're in because again, not because you want to be perceived. You don't want to give ammunition to the narrative.
Yeah, I'm not going to be like you.
Exactly. But at the same time, I don't want to give you a reason to say, "Oh, you always like that."
Yeah. Whatever that is.
Whatever that is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I'm getting older, man. I don't care no more. I'm just out here being me. I'm loud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
one of my brothers, at church, I said, "What's up, man?" Slapped his hand so hard. I realized I might have fractured his back. You know what I mean? But he gonna be all right, man, because that's I think that spaces of multi ethnicity need that. It's funny, man. I had a homie years ago at a church that I worked at. He was my drummer, and he was Puerto Rican. Yeah. And when I say Puerto Rican, I mean from New York. Yeah. Like he Puerto Rican, and when we first met. We would embrace and he would kiss me and my wife. Yeah. I said, bro,
hey,
listen, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was younger, man. Yeah. And he taught me like, oh man, we show,
that's
Puerto
how
Rican,
we do.
We show love. Is that same thing?
The same thing in the deal, bro. I got in a lot of trouble. Because, again, I came here for the Dominican, 18 years old, and that's how we always greeted each other. Yeah. So I'm like going on to the girls, hugging them and kissing them, and they're like, oh, whoa. It ain't like that. I don't know you. So I was
Ladies and gentlemen, we need a meeting about Carlos.
We're definitely, definitely in the wrong
We need a meeting about Carlos.
Exactly. So it is just the same way. Yeah, we hug, we kiss, and it's always very like, touchy kind of thing. And again, coming to Columbus, Ohio, that was not the culture, bro.
No, you ain't.
That was not the culture. I was like, this is my space. You are right there. Do not come any closer. So, yeah.
Man, thank God for the richness of your heritage. I think on this podcast, we always want to celebrate these differences and learn from them and understand how God would actually, through mutuality, make us all better. You know what I mean?
Yes,
through
sir.
engaging in this stuff. So you're worship pastor, musician, songwriter. We've worked together plenty of times before, and I thought we would talk about this because I guess my core question is when we talk about worship in the church, and that comes with many categories. I mean, you have when we say worship, most times we mean sort of mainstream, sort of contemporary. More so the white evangelicals were that those categories have been hijacked by that, right?
Yeah.
So worship, often when we say it doesn't include sort of worship from our Latino brothers and sisters or gospel music or other. Yeah. But I guess the question for us to talk about today is, what is the state of worship? And here's the reason why. When I came up, I've been fired from our worship team at our church.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? Like I was the original worship leader of Renew Church.
Okay.
And then Shamar came and put me out.
She said, "You gotta go."
She put me out. Yeah. But when I came up in the worship, I came out of the traditional black church on the B3 organ.
I got you.
Playing drum. I'm talking like all day long church.
Yeah.
And then I went to college and got exposed to these other avenues of music and church worship and liturgy, et cetera. And one of my good friends when I was in college, or when I got a little older after college, was a part of a pretty nice size sort of white church. And I remember that's the first church I heard sing Hillsong and all that. I remember he invited me out to rehearsal. Yeah. And by the way, those who do know my story, I grew up on the west side of Chicago, moved to Maywood, lived in Maywood majority of my life. Yeah. And so I want to make this disclaimer for those who know me, and went to a predominantly white Christian Reform school. So I was not unfamiliar with Stephen Curtis Chapman, Newsboys, and all that kind of stuff.
I got you.
But in the richness of my music heritage then got challenged when I got older. Yeah. And I remember they were doing this Hillsong stuff. And I'm like, what is this stuff? It's kind of cool. I'm digging it. But that was like the rise of the new worship movement.
Yes.
Okay. So,
yes, sir.
So, we're about the same age, but 80s, 90s, you got like Maranatha music, you got like integrity music. You remember all this stuff? Yes, the whole Don Moen era.
It made it to the Dominican. So yeah.
Did it really?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
all in Spanish. Yeah.
And the urban markets.
Yes,
and the
did.
urban black markets. They used to just redo those songs for urban black markets. Yeah. So this is like, Maranatha. This is Integrity.
Yeah.
This is some other stuff. You're talking 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
Ron Canoli was kind of part of the 90s. And then we get this new era where, and I know I'm taking a little bit to
You're
to
good.
set
You're
this
good.
up.
Go ahead.
But we get this new era where I'm in college and a friend of mine says, man, can you play keys for this worship night we're doing?
Yeah.
All right, whatever. And he gives me a CD. Y'all know what CDs are?
I haven't seen one of those in a minute.
A CD.
CD.
He gave me a CD that I took to the practice room
Yeah.
in Northern Illinois University Music building. And this dude comes on, and I'm like,
Oh.
and it was in the key of E.
That's my guy right there. I already know.
It was in the key of E. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I don't play the
Key of E?
key of E. You know what I mean?
It's somewhat,
and
yeah.
and it was Lord, you are
Yeah.
good. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what is this?
Yeah.
Like what is? And I literally was confused. That was my introduction to Israel Houghton.
Okay.
I was confused
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm like, yo, band sound funky,
Uh-huh.
but it's in the key of E,
Exactly.
and I hear guitars
Yep.
like in the forefront of the mix.
Yep.
What is?
Yeah,
Now back in that day,
Uh-huh.
it wasn't YouTube, it wasn't visuals like
none
that.
of that.
You just had to use your ear.
Yeah.
So man, it really messed me up, and I called my guy and said, "Who is this? Man, this new guy named Israel Houghton, blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah." And so that for me, that's when I entered the worship
got you.
era.
Yeah. Sir.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Where then the 2000s took
sir.
off with Israel kind of at the forefront, and then these other girls, whatever.
Yeah.
So we have like 20 years, 25, 30 years of this worship era that then moves on to the collectives and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Bethel
Yeah.
Music, Hillsong, Red Rocks, all that kind of stuff. Now I don't know where we are.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you this question, and we're going to chop it up.
Go ahead.
Where is the state of worship, songwriting, and church music?
I feel like we are in a very confusing state right now.
It's confusing.
It is confusing, and I feel like there's a lot of churches. So it's confusing and it's missing because I feel like the culture of songwriting in churches is something that is not super encouraged.
Right.
At least not in the settings that I've been in or the churches that I chop it up with besides Renewed Church.
Yeah.
And because what is happening is that the state of worship music, people just want to sing the songs that they hear on the radio, that they hear on K-Love and stuff like that. So the pastors or the lead pastors, they want you to sing those songs. But depending on who the worship pastor is, you're like, well, I'm not really rocking with these songs. That's really not my vibe. I really want to do more of this.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of confusion, and there's a little bit of a fight in that argument in that sense. So the state is a confusing state of worship because you want to do something, but leadership is telling you to do something else. And it is unless you start putting the idea of songwriting and you start writing songs for your church that becomes something that is good and pleasing.
So you're saying we're influenced by modern mainstream radio, which
100%.
We on this podcast, me and Jackie Owen sat down and we talked about kind of the big four.
Yeah.
That the big four. I think it was Hillsong.
Yeah.
It was Bethel at the time. It was a couple others.
So Bethel Elevation.
Yeah. And they the songwriting.
Yeah.
First of all, the songwriting was dominated. The songwriting credits were dominated by 80-90% men.
Yeah.
Right? Secondly, they were dominated by majority white mega churches.
Yeah.
And they were getting all of the significant radio play, significant, visibility.
Yeah.
And they made a lot of money. You know what I mean? A lot of revenue that way.
Yeah.
And I'm not even against
Yeah.
that. I hope our church would create music for the world and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
However, man, like I think it speaks to a deeper issue.
Yeah.
You said something. You said pastors want to sing these things because they're popular on the radio.
Yeah.
And my question is why? Is it a church growth thing? Is it a comfort thing? Or do we have to dig into the demographics of the you know what I mean? Because it's not.
I think it's all of that. I think it is a comfort thing. And I think it is a demographic thing. So I'm in a majority white church.
Right.
And if they're listening to K-Love all week, if the leadership is listening to K-Love or whatever other, worship radio station is out there, they want to hear those songs on Sunday morning, because that's the songs that they know. Those are the songs that they will sing to. Right. If you are singing some gospel song or some, from a song from a Hispanic artist that they never heard before, they'd be like, this is not what I listen to. Most people, like, they just want to sing the songs that they are used to listening on the radio.
They want to sing what they're already listening to.
Well, they already know,
So we're being discipled then.
We are.
By the big, I'll say the umbrella 4 or 5 that are feeding songs to the world, that are generating large amounts of revenue. Yeah. But I'm going to give you my one issue with it. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and I've been challenging our church on that, because I want them to listen to songs that, I don't even know how to say this. I've been secretly, I don't know what the word is. I can't think, not brainwashing. That's discreetly. There you go.
Influencing.
Yes. So over the walking music, we put a playlist out there for people to listen. Hey, listen to these songs instead. Instead of listening to the radio all the time, listen to this playlist that we made for you. Yeah. That way, again, they're not just being discipled. They're not being influenced just by the big 4.
All right, here's a take I want to give you. I want to get your thoughts on this. You don't have to agree with this.
All right.
I feel like mainstream radio and sort of big box production houses of worship, and I'll even say of gospel, they feed into the individualism and the consumerism of self. Just hear me on this, all right? And the reason why I say that is because, I can listen to whatever I want to listen to from a context that is fully unfamiliar with mine, right? So my issue with us taking all the top 40 worship songs on the charts, or even the top 40 gospel songs, which they all can minister to congregations.
Absolutely,
you hear me?
Absolutely.
They can minister to congregations. They have powerful songs that help people get. Trust me, we sing a lot of them here. But my thing is this. My thing is, if our communities and our churches are being discipled by songwriting that is fully disconnected from and unfamiliar with my context, I think that is antithetical to our local witness.
I agree with that.
You see what I'm saying?
100%. Yes,
so,
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, Phil Wickham, there's joy in the house of the Lord. There is. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to go there. But there's joy in the house of the Lord. I actually like that too.
I like that too, yeah.
And, but my thing is, when Phil is writing, or whoever's writing that song, mainly white males, I just got to point that out. Like, that doesn't necessarily speak to the context that I'm in, because my context actually needs lament. Or it needs. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
I don't want to cherry pick on that.
I hear what you're saying, but I think that's when pastoring and trust from your congregation really steps in, because, again, as a worship pastor first, our congregation trusts me and the team to sing songs that are speaking into their situation,
into
their specific situation. Because, and again, you won't know that unless you are with the people, unless you are talking to the people and your congregation. The more time that you spend with your congregation, the more you see their hearts, the more you understand what they are going through, and the more that it informs you then as a worship pastor to go ahead and craft set lists. And you don't craft set lists from the top 40. For me, I'm gonna say here, I am a sucker for all elevation worship music. I love their stuff. Chandler Moore, I know there's controversy there. I like their stuff, but at the same time, I don't want to be doing all elevation songs just because that's my favorite, right?
And I got nothing against elevation.
No, I know you do.
What I'm saying is, I think there is a part of like knowing what people are going through, kind of speaking to their personal situation. But our church has been on this idea of this embodied witness as a people, as a church. And so my thing is, and people will push back on this, which is fine. But I just want to say this. I feel like, like elevation worship, a mega industry church in the heart of Charlotte, North Carolina, and others, what you write with the lens you have does not necessarily mean it's going to translate to the context I'm in and to the corporate witness of this body. You know what I'm saying? Would you agree with that?
Yes,
like, not that we can't appropriate it, but sometimes I'm like, man, even the way things are like produced and visualized, sometimes I'm like, y'all have no, like, y'all ain't even close to what we got going on here. And so it's hard for me
I feel
to kind of receive some of that stuff, you know what I mean? Because I believe. So let me advocate for, which you know this because you and I have had this conversation many times. I advocate for the cultivation of creatives and songwriters in every body. In every body of believers. I advocate for the cultivation, the resourcing of songwriters, musicians, singers, so that in that particular context, in that neighborhood, we can begin to write music.
That's right.
Write liturgy, write poems, whatever it may be, that fits the context of the place that God has placed us in, which for us, Westmont is different than Glen Ellen.
That's right. Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes,
so anyway,
no, and I appreciate that. And honestly, like, you were one of the first person that challenged me with that, you know, just by spending time with you, by hanging out here at Renew Church. And it's like, what songs are the Lord giving you? How are you writing for your congregation? And I am, you know, I'm thankful because we are at a place that our lead pastor believes in that as well.
Good.
And we, like, you talking about resources. Sometimes it's just me, you know, and it's an idea, you know, but like, if you're going to songwrite and if you're going to like write songs for the church, and you need resources, you need the time. And as a pastor, you know how it is. Sometimes you got so many things going on that there's no room for that. There's no room for creativity. But, you know, we are at a place that our leadership believes in that, and we're putting out resources for us to do that because we feel that is necessary. Again, this idea that you planted in my head years ago.
Y'all rock with it, bro.
Years ago, bro. Finally, it's coming into fruition. So I'm excited. But yeah, you're absolutely right. We need to be, again, it's what I was saying earlier. The more you spend time with people in your congregation, the more that you'll see what they're going through, what they're experiencing. And God will give you the songs for your congregation, for the people that are listening. So,
and of course, those songs can spill out to the world.
Absolutely,
and be encouraged to the world. I mean, you know, I'm a Fred Hammond fan. You know, I'm John P. I'm old school like gospel fan. But and all that stuff ministers to me. It wasn't written in my context. Wasn't written for my context. But I do think we have an opportunity here to further the mission of a place, and I think. The theology of place is a big deal to me right now. As a matter of fact, it's funny, man. Years ago, I ain't gonna name the church, but years ago, man, pastor told me I was writing songs for the congregation. Basically, I was taking his sermons. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna start writing songs. Because we need to be singing what we're it was disconnected to me. You know what I mean? And even theologically, it's like we don't have any theological kind of buffers anymore. It's like, nah, I ain't saying that. I ain't singing that. Oh, I don't want my people to sing that. But I remember I was recording like a demo at the church or some songs I wanted to teach. And he literally told me, like, man, I don't pay you to sing, like, record music or write. Like, what you want me to do? I'll go back in planning center. But there wasn't an imagination for. See, listen, man. Art. You know, we're artists in the full sense of the word. In terms of, we see the world through artistic ways. You know, and I think art has been so conjoined with entertainment. That every time like an artist is expressing themselves, I think in the church sometimes it's like, oh, they're just trying to become, you know, the next Israel Houghton or whatever. It's like, no, I'm actually inspired by Israel's or whoever's ability to craft songs for the world or for the church. And he didn't see that. He didn't see that I was actually trying to reinterpret through art what he was already saying.
Already speaking,
He just thought I was trying to be a little artist. And I just really wasn't. So I've been talking about this, bro. I've been talking about this I'm talking 30 years, bro.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, where churches are so disconnected, the art is disconnected from the preaching.
Yeah.
Or in my day, before the worship industry kind of like took off, it was, come on, sing those songs so I can preach.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, get them songs out the way so I can preach. Sing a good one. Sing a hot one.
Sing a good one. Prepare to feel for me.
This brings up, in my opinion, man. This is why I want to talk about this.
Let's go.
It's good to have you, bro. It's my boy.
I appreciate you, man.
This is all we do, man. We go eat and do this.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, they probably hear it all the time. G is going out to eat and talk. You know, that's all he do. Y'all see this jacket closing in, don't you? Don't play with me. I ain't been eating that much recently.
Him in the gym. Five o'clock in the morning.
Bro, look, man. Just trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you and me, bro.
Theologically,
yeah,
I think us as songwriters, we have to be careful for what we put in the mouths of our people to declare.
Absolutely.
And here's why that's important. It's because, I don't know, as a pastor, I see my people as, I see us in mutuality.
Yeah.
But in terms of function, I see them as people I'm called to shepherd.
Yes.
Who are looking for what are the words that I'm supposed to be saying so that my life can be enriched with the fullness of Jesus Christ, keeping him at the centrality of all things. And so I think you and I have a responsibility to put the right things.
Yes.
But here's where I want to challenge you even further.
Let's go.
I think we have a responsibility to not abstain from giving our people language. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's my challenge to the songwriters. That's like, could it be that that we are in disobedience because we are abstaining from giving language to our people through art that they actually really need?
Wow.
What's your thought on it?
Wow, no, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I feel like sometimes it's the fear. It's fear creeps in, right? And it's like, man, are the people, because sometimes as a songwriter for me, you know, like a few years back, I was in a very dark place. And that was when, before that, you challenged me to start writing. Yeah. And the songs that I was writing was more songs of lament, was more songs. But I felt like the fear was, man, I don't know if the congregation is there with me. Yeah. You know, I don't know if they trust me to step in there with me, or I don't know if I want them to see that side of me. Yeah, because that's what's wrong with Carlos? That's the, exactly that's the other thing. You know, like what's wrong? Like, isn't he supposed to be Dominican and loud and all? It's not like, well, why is he crying on stage all the time? You know, but I think that's the fear why we sometimes we hold back and you use the word abstain of giving them language, because one, you don't want them to, you're not ready for them to see you in that state, or you're afraid that they're not going to receive that well. Yeah. And again, I feel like, man, as a pastor, as a human being, I've been challenged more and more with vulnerability. Yeah. You know, because I feel like, you know, men, especially men of color, you know, like from the Dominican, like we don't show emotions. We don't do that. Right. But again, I feel like people and the Lord has been challenging me with that, because the church needs to see the real you. And like you're talking about giving language, man, when you are vulnerable and you give language to what you are going through, you don't know who's going through it at the same time with you. Right. And they are able to step into that space and be like, we are with you. We are being witnesses to one another. Yeah. We're testifying to one another. And I feel like the reason we abstain is fear, and and also we want people to be engaged. And you're afraid when you write a song man, are they really gonna sing this? Are they gonna really rock with this? You know, they just want to sing there's joy in the house of the Lord. You know. Yeah.
And honestly, some songs do flop. I mean, some songs just don't work. Yeah. We've had some one hitters, and where it's like, nah, let's not do that.
Yeah. No, but we are responsible to giving language to the people to declare, because those are, again, sermons are great. No knock on preachers, you know.
No, I'm with you on that, bro. No.
But honestly, when people, there is a power when you sing. Yeah. There's power in music. There's power in worship. There's power in singing. So whenever you're facing situations, guess what? Songs, at least for me, like songs come to mind, right? So like what you are giving language to on a Sunday morning to people when they face something during the week, they're going to remember songs. They're going to remember songs, that they're going to declare those words. So if you're giving them the wrong theology, if you're giving them the wrong things to say, the wrong language, man, that ain't good.
Man, that's a fact, man. Yeah, and art is sensitive too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and I know I'm kind of like I'm using art, songwriting, theology,
Yeah.
kind of all in one, but art is sensitive.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I don't know if are you gonna like this melody. Are you
Yeah.
gonna sing with
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Is this gonna be a thing that you actually grow into?
Yeah.
But I think that's the risk we always take in art, right?
Yeah.
Whether we release a song to the public.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of y'all, man, because y'all release music out of the church.
Yeah.
You just did your thing.
Yeah.
You went and made it happen, man.
Yeah.
And I was so proud of that
Yeah,
because
I appreciate that.
that's you all stuff.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
your music, and it's for your community.
Yeah, and it's been a journey. I was talking to somebody earlier, and I've been proud because again, when I came to originally from the DR, went to Georgia for a while, came to the west suburbs of Glen Ellen right here, and when I came during 2020. Our team was very small, and we work with majority volunteers, right? So to see from where we were in 2020 to where we are now, and see how people are growing, not just in their walk with the Lord, but in their musical ability and stuff, and being able to write songs and to record songs and put them out there, man, it's something that I'm really, really proud of, and just grateful. I'm like floored to see where how far God has brought us.
That's so good, man. I'm thankful for your work, man. I want to so as we're talking about the state of worship, like the state of the worship, I don't know. I want to say industry, but I would say like worship in the church. A few things that I think we're not really leaning into, and I think it's important that our churches talk about this together. The infiltration of race politics, nothing new.
Yeah.
But the infiltration of race politics into modern mainstream worship.
Yeah.
I'll tell you where I am because a lot of these worship movements I was championing or following or even singing their music, or we sing their music here, until I saw like the blatant conjoining with political idolatry, Christian nationalism, and white supremacy.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I'm not making an accusation. I'm telling you what you can just go can just go see.
You can just Google it.
Hey, right. They're like, yo.
Google is free.
Exactly. It's like, yo, God's taking over the world. Like, he's breaking in. It's revival. And, we celebrate this president because of these blah, 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 blah. And if you don't get with it, it's fine. But, by the way, like, the misappropriation of like of millions of dollars and the amount of money that's being filtered through. Bro, I told my team, some of this, don't sing that again.
Yeah.
And here's why. Here's why, bro.
Yeah.
Because it's difficult for me, and I think me and Holmes talked about this, it's difficult for me to sing music that you put God in when I think we're talking about two different gods.
Come on. Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel it. Listen, bro, I've made a very conscientious decision.
Yeah.
That we will stop singing songs from certain artists.
Yeah.
Because of that same reason. Because of, again, the political affiliate. No, I'm not even gonna say political affiliation. I'm gonna say
because you can be on whatever side you want to be on.
It's not even that, but it's when I see the words of Jesus and when I see what He commands us to do, and then I see these artists that say that they want to do the same thing, but I see them supporting and treating and co-signing movements and parties and things that do not align with the words of Jesus. Like you said, we ain't talking about the same God. We ain't talking about the same Jesus. So I made the decision that we as a church, and I don't know if my lead pastor is going to see this because this is just me. I'm in charge of the set list. We were not going to do we're not going to do songs that from certain artists because of that. And again, everything that we're going to put out, whether it's music on the walk-in or walk-out music, is going to be artists and movements that are that support justice, that are going to, again, that align not just with my theology, with my theology and what I believe.
Well, the theology of which, if you know Carlos, a theology of equality and justice and the least of these and these things. So, I got a real big problem with all the different versions of Jesus that are being represented in music. And it's just hard. And I'll sit on the front row. We'll sing a song from certain artists. Yeah. And we're not calling artists out on purpose. That ain't what this platform is for. Yeah. But when it political affiliation, whatever. I ain't got no problem with that. We got people in our church that vote all kinds of sides of the aisle. So political affiliation, whatever. There are different reasons for that. There are different layers to that. Yeah. Style, whatever. We all got our different vibe, we all our different style. But my thing is the advocacy for behaviors and culture that are associated with dismissing the underdog, dismissing and even trampling upon the ostracized already. Yeah. I just can't look at you and you'd be like, Jesus, I have a hard time, and you tell me if you ever felt this. I have a hard time believing that somebody's really on their knees and going after the heart of Jesus. Yeah. And nothing prompts them towards what you're advocating for is harmful to other people. Absolutely. That's just so hard for me. That's so hard for me to even fathom.
Yeah. I mean, even in our own churches, like when I see people, again, supporting and advocating for something that goes directly against what Jesus said or the way that Jesus commanded us to treat others, I have a hard time believing that we can be next to each other. And I was like, I don't know if you are praying to the same God. Like for me, it's something that God has been working in my heart, and I ain't there yet. But I think anger might be too strong of a word, but it's very uncomfortable for me to be with somebody or to sing a song from somebody that says that they love the Lord, that they love Jesus, but are supporting something that is completely the opposite. Because again, if you say that you love Jesus and you're following his teachings, man, that is to love the least of these. That is to raise, voices that have been marginalized. That is to give opportunities in the church. Because again, the church can talk about all these things and like, oh yeah, we are this and we are that. But if you are not giving tangible opportunities and examples of that to those people, then it's just talk.
It's just talk. And I think it's fair, man. And just to set the record straight, I don't care if you vote for the president. Yeah. I'm not talking about it. We're not talking about you picking us up. Yeah. All I'm talking about is in culture. Yeah. For instance, over the last few months at our church, I've gotten more emails from like newer visitors who come to our church because, and bro, like I don't go crazy at our church. I don't make it a political thing at our church. Yeah. I will emphatically make it a humanity thing.
Come on. Yeah.
Period. Yeah. And I'm never going to apologize for that.
But the issue is that everything is taken politically.
It is.
Yeah. Even if you're talking about people's humanity, people see it. We are the climate that we are in. People see it as you're taking one side over the other. Even if you just regurgitating the words of Jesus, people say, no, you're too far this way.
Exactly. Yeah. So the lens is already on for a lot of people, especially people who are defensive about what they believe or guilty about what they actually believe. But I'll stand up and I'll advocate for. I'll say, listen, man, and I don't know all the ins and outs of our immigration system. Yeah. I don't know how it all works. Yeah. I know as much as I know and much as I try to study to be equipped for it. Yeah. I do know that I have beautiful Hispanic brothers and sisters in my congregation that I see when I witness ICE dragging people out of cars. You know what I mean? Like, okay, are they here legal or not? Yeah. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying when I see the infiltration of federal agents dragging people out of car. I've got friends, and I call them friends. They've helped us. You know, they're contractors, but they become friends, doing work on my house and all that kind of stuff. They're gone.
Yeah.
They're gone. Like they text me, hey, Greg.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man. You all are like family, but it's gonna be. I'm not gonna be back, or you know, or you know, I fell sick. I'm not coming. I'm like, I just saw you 2 days ago, and I know, and I know what's going on, but I have to let them know, hey, I see you. I see what's going on in the world. So my thing is this, man. Here's my thing. My thing is, if we have songwriters, leaders, and artists who will look at that, and they will advocate for that, or turn an eye towards that, or turn an eye towards 8 seconds and 8 minutes and 30-something seconds on George Floyd, and will say, well, you know, he had drugs and this is. I don't want to sing anything you wrote.
Nope, I'm out. Yeah.
I don't know how you're on your face before God and being like, yo, let's just keep that over. I don't know how you do that.
You can't.
You can't do that.
You can't, no.
It's not political affiliation. It's not who you vote for. It's just like, why does your heart not bleed for that? And when you really look at Christ, when you really look at Jesus, man, you're like, this is not even like my own personal like hermeneutic of Christ. It's just he just doesn't do that.
He does not. He does not. And like that's the thing. So again, and a little bit of my story I referenced from Ohio. I went to Georgia in the church that I was at. Man, I posted on Facebook a while ago that I still carry some shame that I did not speak up sooner. That it took Ahmaud Arbery being killed for me to finally wake up and realize, man, you gotta speak up. You gotta speak up about the disparity that that there's in the church, how they keeping certain voices down, how they're not giving opportunities. And when Ahmaud Arbery got killed, an innocent young man just running down the street, hunt down and killed, my church said nothing. Nobody was moved. Nobody thought it was a big deal. And for me, it happened 30 minutes from where I used to live. So we knew about this. This was in the community way before it broke national news. So the fact that
you were there,
I was there. I went the weekend after he got shot. We had a march at a courthouse. We were there. And the fact that nobody at my church felt like it was important to mention, important to check in with somebody. There's people of color in our church. It's a majority white, but there's a few of us there. The fact that nobody said nothing or, again, kind of checked in, I don't understand how you can say that you love Jesus. And again, I know I might get in trouble, but how can you say that you love Jesus and at the same time you are not condemning, you are not advocating for those who are treated like that? And bro, I just couldn't. I could not like you said, not just singing the songs. I just couldn't. I can't follow. I can listen to a sermon. I cannot follow your leadership. I can't do that because it goes completely against of what I believe that Jesus calls us to.
And you know when I talk with a lot of my white pastor friends, which is how this podcast got started. Is to have these bring some just bring some light to this intersection of gospel and race. Nobody's asking you to join the NAACP.
No.
Like nobody's asking you to become this activist. But my issue is the dismissiveness. What happened? But then also more deeply, the denial. Man, I'm gonna tell you, bro. Like, very, very, very familiar situation. Gospel and Race family may know this. Floyd gets killed. I write an article about sins, systems, and sanctuaries.
Yeah.
Just exposing to people as a black man how I grew up in majority white spaces and began to lead worship at majority white churches, mega churches, and how there are racisms at play. That's all I did. I'm gonna tell you my story. All right. I'm G. I've always been G. And out of that, bro, an eruption of pushback. My inbox went crazy. Friends at the altar, we've cried together, we've buried people together, we've loved, and it took that moment of advocacy, fighting for brown skin, for it to be exposed that all these people around me actually don't even feel what I feel with what we all saw. And, you know what I'm saying? It's like, but actually defending. The action of killing this man.
Let's just hear till we get all the details. Let's just wait till we get all the details. Yeah, let's just wait. Yeah, bro, I'm with you. Very similar story. I mean, again, at my church, people would not even come because I started to speak up. At my church, people would wait till worship was over, and then they would come in for the message.
They would skip the music.
They were not comfortable with me because, and again, all I was saying, it was advocating. I wasn't like, being anti this and anti that.
You didn't walk in with signs and
none of that.
Bullhorns.
None of that. We're just asking for justice.
Yeah.
We're asking to fix a wrong. We're asking to right a wrong. So, and man, I'm telling you, people don't like to be. It's all about being comfortable.
Yeah.
It's all about, people do not like to be confronted with the truth.
That's right.
And when you push back and they want to live in this space and everything, there's joy in the house of the Lord. We are joyful.
Man, throw that joy up.
We're just happy all the time.
Yeah.
And when you are pushed to be a little bit uncomfortable and to come face to face with what really is happening in our world, and it's happening in our congregations, but people don't want to take the time to have those conversations.
That's right.
People that get uncomfortable, they're like, no, that's too much for me. I want to be in this space all the time.
Let me know when y'all sing the house of the Lord again. I'll be back in.
Hey, I do love that joint.
That's a dope joint. I have no problem with that record. But I think the moral of the story of what we're talking about here is for our creative songwriters.
That's right. We talk about songwriting.
We just don't. I can't support. Your advocacy for injustice. And at the same time say, let's sing these great songs that you wrote because we are not quite sure that we have the same lens as it pertains to the justice of God or his love for humanity or even how we are all formed in the Imago Dei, the image of God. So we can't be theologically on the same page there for that particular reason. And so our you know this, but I can say us, we are advocating for communities to have boldness in their art, in their songwriting, to actually talk about what's going on in their communities. But then also on the national stage to say we recognize that there are other communities that are hurting in a different way that we are unfamiliar with.
That's right,
But let me go sit in it with you and let me listen to those songs.
That's right.
Let me listen to that art so that I can actually have mutuality in, or I wouldn't say mutuality, that we can have lament together.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that is important. You talk about songwriting. I feel like at our church, I'm really grateful that we have, it's a group of a lot of different people.
So super diverse.
There's 5 of us right now, and we are all from... They're men, women from like different backgrounds, different color skins, and they all bring something different. Because again, I might not understand what this other group of people are going through, but man, let me sit in with you as a brother in Christ. Let me sit in that place with you, because it is only that way that you're able to bring those the different layers to the songs that you're writing for your congregation. That's good. Yeah.
What's next for you? What you dreaming about next?
Oh man, I keep dreaming. I keep dreaming for just for God to continue to push us, man. To take us to a bigger place, not for the sake of us being bigger and greater, but I just want our team to continue growing. Shout out to my church, Parkview Community
Come
Church.
on,
Can I
Parkview.
say that? Can I say that?
That's
Yeah.
the family. Yeah,
Man,
I know.
we
Yeah.
I feel like God is doing something absolutely amazing at our church, and I talk about it in the context of our team, the creative arts team. I love the people that we have, and I might get a little emotional.
No,
I'm
you.
sorry
I know
about
you
that.
love them.
I love it. I love our team because I see their hearts. I see what every since I came here to Parkview, I've been praying, God, send the right people, and God's been doing that. And I see people that want to, they don't want to be on the team just to play or to sing or to be running tech. They want to be in a community that advocates for others,
Yeah.
that is elevating, voices that are being marginalized, that speaks up for, when for justice, and they just love each other. And I'm just grateful for the people that God has given us.
I've always seen the love you have for them.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I've often questioned, like, dude, what you good over there? You know what I mean? That's what we do. You good over there,
I don't know. I don't know about the church, but I don't know if I can say this. My little church right here, my group, of people.
But that's a love statement. You good over there?
Yeah.
But then also, man, it's like I do see a genuine love for doing the work.
Yeah.
In that place, and you are doing that work, and I want to applaud that because it's significant, and a lot of people won't do. A lot of people will run, and not do the work. Yeah. But the kingdom of God begins with small seeds.
Come on.
And so those 5.
That's right.
Man, those 5
That's right.
who can write liturgy and songs for the church of love and justice, mutuality and presence, that can turn the world upside down.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Just don't turn it into some kind of mainstream
we
money machine thing.
No.
You know what I mean? Just don't do that.
Yeah, it's not about, and that's something that we've had in the forefront of our mind from the very beginning. We say, hey, we're just gonna write songs for our church.
Yeah.
Whether this church spill out, and yes, we'll record it and all that, but we ain't looking to be.
Let it spread. I just don't want you to become one of the.
I just want to be like PG.
No, man, you don't do that.
Renew
old,
music.
Brother.
Come on now.
I'm getting old. They kicked me off the team, bro. I told you that already. All right. Hey, listen, man. Thanks for hanging with me, man. We're gonna do this again. This is my brother Carlos De La Cruz, man. Yeah. We are really in this together, man. Grateful for your witness in the kingdom.
Thank you, sir.
And keep going, man. We need some new music ASAP.
Let's go, man. We're going to renew in Parkview. We'll get together. We're going to do something.
We're about to figure out this writing camp.
It's going to happen.
We're going to do a writing camp.
It is going to happen.
At Renew, where we can invite some people in, start writing about what's going on in the culture, what's going on in our churches, discern together, kind of craft some things together. Sir. I think God's shifting the mold when it comes to that music. And there's no rules on it anymore.
Come on.
We're going to make it happen. All right?
Sir.
Gospel and Race Podcast. We love y'all. We'll holler next time.